Just I left it a little bit too long and it started to cure outside the pot. So this was the runoff that was on the mould. So that was down the side of the mould, and then all of this was on the top. And then I had some extra, so it got poured into a square, which probably not usable, unfortunately, but I'll find a use for it somewhere or the other. I keep on getting wisps of hair on my nose, which is annoying me. So I forgot to spray the lathe with anti-rust stuff before the pen show, so I oiled it up. I'll get to the what we're doing today in a minute. Just need to make sure that everything is hunky-dory. Yeah, cool. I have designed a pocket pen. It is called a Fafnir. It is this one here. So this is what we're redesigning today because I'm not 100% happy with this. This to me is something that needs improvement, basically. So I've taken these off of sale off of the website. So the basic idea is fine. It's been on there for a while. I only took it off recently. It's just getting the, how can I say this without me sound like an idiot? I probably can't, to be fair. I don't particularly like some aspects of it. I don't like that it uses a size 5 nib because they're a pain in the backside. I don't like that this section is the way it is. It has the way it has to be made out of different material because of the thinness of the walls. I don't like these threads in that I can't polish them, and I don't like those threads. Those threads are too sharp. I don't like the exposed threads on the end here because the idea is that this pen as is should fit in your pocket. This pen is, I can get my measuring stick. Just shy of 120mm from end to end when it's capped. Size wise it's fine. That's an okay size for a pocket pen. And then so you uncap it. The cap is pretty much the same size as the barrel. This is just too thin for me, but you can use it like that if you want to. So you've got the nib coming out here. Obviously the nib only comes out to about there. And if you want to make it into a full-size pen, that's what this bit's for. So you screw that in. Voila, you have a full-size pen. That's the idea. So there are a few bits and pieces that I want to improve on this. It's called a Fafnir because a Fafnir was a dwarf in Norse mythology, which I believe turned into a giant. But yeah, I'm going to try. Let's have a look. If that's an inch, it's almost an inch. the design, there's not a problem with the design. Apart from the bits I've mentioned, what I ideally want is a size 6 nib. How big is this? So it's 21. So it's an eyedropper. So there's no need for any cartridge. So I don't have to worry about length of the cartridge or the converter. All that I'm worried about is the length of the capped version and the uncapped version. Now what I'm thinking of doing is replacing this bit with a metal version. So you'll have a metal band about there with the threads in metal, and then you'll have a metal band here with the internal threads in metal. So this bit, when you screw it together, those will be flush and they'll be metal, rather than having this bit here, which I don't like. So the threads, I'll make it a little bit thicker so that I can make the threads the normal size threads. So there will be triple lead threads, which I can cut down on the length there. So that at the moment is 5. So I can cut that down by at least 1 mil. Which would allow me to, I could sink the section into the, because I've no need for the no need for the cartridge and converter. The normal section length, which is 25 mil that I use, I can shrink that down to about 20, because there's no engagement for the converter into the section, so I don't need it. So the nibs finish use this for example. Let's kick the heater so it causes it to go mental at me. Oh, good. So we've got 11 mil between the back of the section. So 11 mil between the back of the nib unit and the end of the section. So I could make that 20 mil outside the pen. So the section will still be that sort of size, maybe a bit shorter, but we'll have a size 6 nib in there. And we'll still have £50 mil worth of ink capacity, or 50 millimeters deep of ink capacity of 8.3 mil wide. It'll actually be a 9 mil wide. Yeah, so it'll be a 9. It will actually have more ink capacity because the internal hole will be deeper, sorry, wider. So we can maximise the ink capacity there. So let's have some maths. Have I had enough coffee today? I've got a cup of coffee on my little table over there. Oh, I'm tagged in a post on. Okay. Brain is not working. What's it doing? Volume calculator. Cylinder volume calculator. There we go. So we've got a 50 there. We've got I can't figure out how to do this. Millimeters. Right, okay, so that's going to be 4.5. Oh no, this is what I want. Millimeters, 4.5 and 50. Calculate. Copy that. Right. That isn't right. Equals diameter times diameter. I can't be bothered to work it out now. That's taking too long. I think I worked it out before, and it's like 5 milliliters. It's quite a good capacity for something so little. It's going to annoy me now that I can't work it out. Right, okay, so let's try it a different way. Right, here we go, got it. So it will hold 3.18086.256 milliliters. That's that version anyway. There is a slightly longer version. This is this one, which is more more long. There you go. How's that for English? So this one is 130 mil when it's capped. Again, still got the same problems with the threads and the section and the blah and the blah. And this bit is another 7 mil on top, or 7 milliliters. 7 millimeters deeper than the other one. So that one I think is the one that can hold about 4 milliliters through. 3.18. Yeah, probably about that. So we're going to have a go at redesigning that, seeing what happens. Got my metal, got random blanks. Of course, if this all goes to pot, I've got some other blanks I can turn into a pen that I'm going to make into my Bast model, which is probably the weirdest model I do because it has cat ears. Gonna let that sink in. Have I left tools down? I think I might have left tools down in the house. I might have to go and discover where they are. So if you bear with me 1 second, I'm just going to pop the be right back sign back up, and I will be right back. And I'm back. There it is. And I have my toolbox with me again. Huzzah. So I'm probably going to have to buy some new taps for the cats. I think my current ones are going blunt, so that's going to be a lot of money. I don't want to spend a lot of money. I have to. Right, so these are the 3 blanks that are going to be made into the cat pens. So we have Mad Science Pen Company batch 4, which is yellow, sort of whitey cream colour and bronze. We have Mad Science Company Fox, which is neon orange, brown and a sort of creamy white. And then we have Ardennes pens. I decided to mix these colours today, sort of a tealy colour and a sort of a shiny shimmery red colour. I've already cut the sections today, so I'll just drop the workshop pen. So I've cut the sections. They're not drilled out or anything, so these are all going to be boxed because I'm brand. Basically, I've sold out of that design, so I'm going to make some more. Well, I might have sold out. I'm waiting to hear back from someone on whether they want the last one. So, what colour shall we go for this pocket pen? What we'll do is you guys choose a colour, I'll grab a load of blanks that are of that colour and then you can choose which one. Green, right? Okay. So there's 5 blanks that are all from the green portion of my blank storage. And I shall zoom in so you can proper look. I might leave this zoomed in just that a little bit. So we're going to, when I'm making the sections for the pocket pen, I'll also do these just to get it out of the way. So we're going to use Bock 6. Get myself a sweetie. By sweetie, I do not mean my wife. She's in the house working. Ah, fair enough. I'm just sorting out. Basically, I have a very technical organisational system within the workshop. It's very technical. It involves paper cups with names on. And I fill these paper cups with names on with pen blanks, and that's the model of pen that I'm going to make out of that blank. And I'm just I've got a list of everything I've got in stock at the moment, and I am just laying these out on the workbench and filling them up with blanks. I'm overheating, so I need to turn the heater off. Yeah, exactly. So my filing system. If you look on the little camera, it's right there. Oh no. Let's see. Right there. As you can see, I'm still not used to camera angles. Right, so these are the 5 green blanks that I've pulled out. So which one? There's this one, which is, I know it's going to have lots of bubbles in it, and because I can see lots of unmixed colours. There's this one, which is sort of half and half green and yellow. There's this one, which is a sort of greeny, bluey, shimmery colour, and there's a bit of deep red in there as well. There's this one, which is just plain green, and there's gold wisping through it. And there's this one, which is just various different greens. So whilst you're pondering that, I'm going to put some more blanks in pots. What was I going to make out of them? Right. I haven't got a cup for the new design. And I've taken the Fafnir cup away, I think. I don't think I ever did a Fafnir cup. So Aran and Fafnir. So if you guys don't pick, I'm going to pick. And I'm going to pick that one. And these will go over there. don't know what the Chris. Right, so let's make these sections. I'm a tad material. Yeah, I'm just going that way for the section. So everything is lubed up now as of yesterday. Suppose better put my apron on. So using a brush just isn't efficient. Right. $16.24 go 16.24 down to 12 is 4, so on that will be 2. So I'm going to do this one slightly differently. Oh. That's what happens if I knock the camera. Right, so this should be 2 mil. So I'm going to make the section. I'm not going to cut the tenon for the threads on this one. I'm going to make the sections. Then I'm going to work out how many threads I need. And I'm going to cut it down accordingly. That should be about 12 now. 12.01, I'm happy with that. Right. Got a big old hole there. Big old hole there. Lucky, this is just going to be for a prototype. So I'm not too bothered about the holes on this one. As this one will not be put on the website at all. It's just to see if something works. If I can manage it. A potential Annika pen. Actually, no, I tend to keep the prototypes. If it's a prototype, I tend to keep it because it'll be what I work off of. So I've got a bunch of others. My workshop pen is a prototype for one that I did for Stonecott. So this was a prototype which never ended up being made into a proper pen because I didn't like how that cutout down there turned out. However, I've just thought of a way of making it work. Right, so you can see they're all the same size. So the closer I can keep with the pocket pen, the closer I can keep it to my standard way of making pens, the better. Basically, with the previous design, there were lots of different threads that I don't always use, and so it would have been a case of trying to remember what I needed to drill at, what I needed to set the tenons at. Everything like that was all different for that one design. Whereas if I can make everything so that it all uses the same threads, everything is the same, then it's just going to be a lot better. It's going to be a lot easier. I don't mind doing one-offs like that, but when we've got a production pen, I don't particularly want to be faffing about with that. Standing in the bottom. So you're playing the drinking game, take a sip. I'm going to have to take a break about about 20 past 3ish, because I'm expecting a delivery from Amazon, which is going to be here between 20 past 3 and 20 past 4. A bit of a pain because that's when the school run is, so I've got to be in the house to get the delivery rather than it being picked up by my wife. So what I'll do is I shall pop indoors to the PC in there. I shall log on to the chat via there, so I can continue any conversations which were happening at the time. So that's in about an hour. Right. So that is 3 sections done. Threaded. So now it's lots of drilling, lots of internal threading, lots of this and lots of that and lots of the other. My hair is itching on the back. So one of the things I was thinking of doing is, for this channel, is setting up a Patreon or patron, or however you say it, because I want this to be successful and I want it to be able to do stuff with it. And at the moment I'm not getting the followers to allow me to do that, so I have to think a bit outside the box on that one. But then I've got to think of what rewards do I offer at different levels. One of the things I was thinking of is, once it's past a certain amount of people that are donating to it, then I'll do a sort of a weekly draw, monthly draw for a pen that gets made on stream. So the monthly cost would be like, I don't know, £5 or something, and that would basically put you in a raffle to get a pen, which be upward of 130 quid plus. Just got to think about it and think what other things I can do with it. So I don't want to have a reputation of being someone that's just like giving all your money. But I want this side of the business to work. That's what I was thinking. That's the sort of price point I was thinking, because £5 a month most people can sort of afford. And if I can get that regular income of of however much a month. It allows me a lot more freedom with buying an equipment for the streaming and the any other video or media stuff, because the money that comes from that will pretty much be spent on media and video equipment. It wouldn't be for the pen making stuff. So if I needed a new lathe, for example, I wanted to go down the CNC route, that sort of stuff would come out of whatever that sort of thing. And just want to, like for example, I want to have it I want to have it so that I have cameras set up over where the shaping and the polishing, and one over where the blanks are made, so that it would just be easier for me to just switch things over rather than having to move everything around every time, because moving everything around every time is a pain in the butthole. Where did your brain go with CNC? You and me both. But CNC lathes cost about 20 grand minimum. And decent lasers cost close to that as well. Both of which, well, the CNC I'm not fussed about, because that means I'd have to learn a new thing, which, to be honest, just cannot be bothered. I don't particularly want to learn, unless I have to learn CAD for work. I don't particularly want to have to learn CAD for the pen making, because that just sounds like too much hard work. Right, so that's drilled out for the section, for the nib unit, and only goes down about that far. So there's nothing to say you can't have the end of the plastic being where it's probably a technical term for it, but the innie bit for the ink to go to the feed. Sticking to using innie bit. I don't care if it's a technical term, if there is a technical term for it. I'm slowly stripping off. It's not good. Oh, almost a full drink there. Threading. Yes, I know what I'm doing. I'm a professional pen maker. I don't forget things every 5 minutes. Honest. I've also been thinking of. So I when I hurt myself, that wasn't just a full drink. That was finish the drink, get yourself another drink, finish that one too. Yeah, pretty much. So these will be relatively easy to do and can do them the same way that I would normally do them. However, the one which I haven't done the end to, I'm going to draw that out a little bit. Yeah. I did go slightly faint. I didn't do what I normally do when I hurt myself, just poke it. My usual reaction if I hurt myself and there's a sort of flap of skin is to lift the flap of skin and see if I can see the bone. Then I can chuckle to myself and make a dick joke. Sorry. So I'm just going to drill a little bit out on this one. I do. That's just so I can. I've got something to drill in. Sorry, something to thread into beyond the bit that actually needs threading, so I don't strip the threads. I haven't had lunch. I had breakfast today. That was my second meal. Well, my first out of 2 meals, I should say. I have dinner tonight. And we've got gaming. And then Betty Buy's time. I might treat myself to some beer and then not drink at the weekend. Because I need to cut down a bit. Of course, I could just leave the section full size and just thread it in more rather than cutting it down. Yeah. I'm just very fussy when it comes to beer. And got a trip to Ireland coming up, possibly. So, well, I've got 3 trips to Ireland coming up. So what I might do is just basically get some decent whiskey from the duty free. Not tried that one. I wonder if 15mm section is good enough. Saving up 5mm by going shorter on the section. Most of the space is used up by the nib. Because the nib's an inch. If I can have it 35, well, no, 25 plus 15 is 40, so 40mm plus 4, so that's 44mm. In the end bit, so that would be I'm good, thank you. How are you? So 44mm. So we're going to have a cap of about 50mm with the threads on it. So how does that compare to what we've already got? Okay, so we've got a cap of 60mm, so we cut 10mm off that. That would work. That would work indeed. I'm cooking up. Which pen's that? I can't remember. my memory of the pens that I send out sort of gets deleted after I send them out. I've got no idea what I send anyone. Oh, yeah. The one that I made a typo on the name when I put it on the website and then just thought, sod it, leave it. So what we're doing today is we are redesigning a pen. I've got a pocket pen design, which I am not a fan of because of various problems. I only give them names because it helps me remember, and it's a good judge of the mood I'm in when I name them. Although it does mean I have to spend ages thinking of a name, and I do sort of sit there in my chair with a confused monkey look on my face. And if I have that confused monkey look on my face, Annika knows what I'm doing. Naming pens. Right, so this is a book. Let's test it. Hey, if it's one. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, there's yeah, I can't name all the pens. Definitely one where my brain was going, I don't know a name. I will one day just start picking random names out of the air, or random things out of the air by what I see around me. So one day you may get a pen called Door. Or Annoying Child. Or Loud TV. Right, so this is the important one. This is the one I'm going to be working on today. Well, I say important, it's not really important. If you boil it down to it, it's not life or death important. It's sort of right, okay, so this is going to be a section. So if we cut this down so that it's 15mm exposed section, what will that give us? There's my small ruler. I was looking for that yesterday. So $15mm only be that much. So you get your fingers on it, but that'll be about it. I don't like that. That's too short. So We go 20. And go between. Go to about there. Yeah. Yep. 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 Oh no 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 no. Yep. Magical internet shenanigans. And we are going to go there. I'm going to try and get this thing out of here. There you go. I'll whack this doobie dot in there. And do that. Wibbledy woo. Look at you. Where's my thing? There's my thing. Nope, that's the wrong thing. Where's the other thing? There's the other thing. So we want this to be 9.8 millimeters, roughly. And at the moment, I believe it's 12. So 9.8 is 2.2. So 2.2 is 1.1 on there. Go in there first. So 10.8, so it's another 1 mil. Go in there again. Go in a little bit more. Hey. So, because I've left the end here still solid, hopefully when I thread this it won't crack. That's the theory anyway. Is this the little pitry things? Is this little pitchery things? Right. Right, now I've got a section. How long did that end up being? It's probably about 15. No, it's 20 mil. 19. Yeah, little pitchery things. Like I said, see, I even put my fingers up. So I reckon this is where it could all go wrong and everything could explode, by the way. Gotta love your guys' faith in my abilities. Right, so this is the advantage of using the same threads on everything, by the way. I can just pick up a random barrel that I made years ago and just think, oh, does that fit there? So that doesn't look too bad for a size of section. So I know that this is probably about 4 mil. So I've been doing 4 mil worth threads for ages. So we'll just measure that just to make sure. Use that measuring size, it's a lot easier. 4.51. So we can now measure how deep we want the cap. So that's 46, 47 from there to the end of the nib. Sorry, from there, end of the threads, barrel threads there, to the end of the nib is 47 mil. So that gives us the size of cap we need. Which I think will be a bit shorter than this. There you go. So for fitting a size 6 nib on a pocket pen, that's a good size. So because we're not having a cartridge in this one, the innie bit where the ink goes into the feed can be quite close to the end of the threads. It's not all the way to the end of the threads, and I can make this about 5 mil shorter, but then the section would be like that and it would be just too small. So we have our diddy little section. We can now start to make the pen. So what I shall do is we shall go in from this end, because that's a nice smooth end that I can get a centre point, and this one will just throw it off. So I'll do a centre hole, get the old live centre in. It will be an eyedropper, yes. Like this one, which is my previous design for the pocket pen that I'm not happy with. It's going to be the same basic shape, but there are bits that I'm going to change because I don't like some of the bits on this, and it annoys me immensely that I have a pen design that I don't like. So I took them all off sale. So I have two pen designs that I've taken off sale so far. There's that one, and there's the Skadi, because they're both a pain in the backside. Where has it gone? There it is. Now, not many people have Skadis or Fafnir's. Yep. Because I've taken them off sale. We have one left in stock, and I don't intend to make any more. So what's this measurement here? 17. So if we go down a mil from there, so we'll zero that there. And then we can go here, and we can go 5. And we can go blah. I am pretty much yes. But I don't like making them. I tried to make them more interesting by putting some metal work on them, but just not a fan. I prefer to make something that I'm happy with. Yeah, it's just... It's not that they're too fiddly, because some of my other designs are far more fiddly. It's just that I'm not happy with it. I don't like it. It's just one of those ones that I could do without. I'd much rather make a new design that I'm more happy with. So it's effectively been replaced by the new design, which is the Aran. Aran, I can't say it. It's Welsh. Around. I'll send you a picture of it later. I mean, there's nothing wrong with it as such. I just don't like making them. Not yet. Not that I know of. Okay. There's some packages for number 17 in the porch. Bye bye. I can feel there's bubbles in this material. So if I run my finger along, there's one there, definitely one here, definitely one there, and 1, 2, 3. The one up here is only a small one, but those two are big ones. Oh, there's one there. Yeah, there's definitely a big one there. And some more down this end. At the moment, bubbles are not really a concern. This is only a prototype. As long as it doesn't leak. $15.26, so we'll go to 14.5. 15.26, so 0.7. 15.26, 3, 15 there. I've just noticed something weird happening with the measuring thing. The measurements were changing, which meant this bit was moving backwards or forwards now. Possibly a banana pen. I'm going to have a sweetie whilst I'm doing this. Right. So, yeah, it's full of holes. Got a hole there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So if this was for a pen that I was likely to sell, this would be straight in the bin. Hang on, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. 13 sort of little pits in the material. However, as this is a prototype, I don't care. You hear that rain? Right, so what we'll do is if I get a bubble in a can, what I tend to do is drill it out and put a roll stop on. If you get a bubble in the barrel or the section, they tend to get filled. So you fill them up and then sand it flat and then polish. depends. Colour matching really depends on the blank. If it's a very plain blank, then yes. But what you find with the materials, let me get some examples. So, if you get something like that, which is plain, just a plain colour, and you find a bit of unmixed pigment in there. So what most of the bubbles are is they're not actual bubbles, because the bubbles are compressed by the air pressure in the pressure pot. What you'll find is the bubbles are just patches of unmixed pigment powder that just flake away as they're turned. So you expose this little patch of unmixed powder and it just comes out, and then you get your pit. So with the plain ones, yeah, I mean, you try and colour match them so that it still looks plain, because you've really got nowhere to hide. With ones that are like this, you can just use clear, because the detail of the blank will not hide it, but it won't be noticeable, because the blank is quite detailed anyway. That's my take of it anyway. And what you'll find is that you'll get more more unmixed powder in the more complicated blanks. So if you think about it, when you're making the blanks, you've only got 12 minutes from the time you've mixed the resins together to when they start curing. So that means you've got to put the powder in, mix it, make sure it's all mixed in, pour it into whatever you need to pour it into, to then pour into the mould, which is quite a tall ask. Yeah. I mean, it gets to a point where, do you want to try and fix something, or is it going to take longer to fix it than it would be to just make a new one? So you've got to keep in mind that when we're doing this, when we're making someone a custom pen, time is of the essence. Because we're only one person and we're only making so many blanks, or so many pens. So it is really difficult sometimes. When you're sat there and you're thinking, okay, there's 17 holes in this. Do I really want to fill them all? Or do I just want to get another blank and start again? And the thing is, no matter who you are, you will find bubbles in blanks, no matter where they're from. In diamond casts, you don't tend to find them because they mix by machine, but most blank makers will mix by hand. Because the machines are too expensive. Right, so we have when I can find it, you can find one, so I should have loads. Why is it that I can never find the right size drill bit? 2. There's a 9mm drill bit. So 9mm drill bit. How deep do we want our barrel to be? So if we are cutting 10mm off there, and cut that down a bit. Cut a bit off there as well. We don't need that to be as deep. So I reckon we'll try and keep the hole the same depth, so 50mm. So that'll give you 3mm, 3mm or 3 millilitres of ink capacity, which is not bad. So I need to pop off in about 10 minutes. So I'm expecting delivery. I'll log on to the chat as Ukulele when I'm back in the house. Right. Just gonna quickly put these threads in. I don't want to go too deep with the threads because that would be an area where the ink leak to. that there. Why is that not going in there? Didn't like that at all. I know I like tight threads on these things, but there we go. So we've got what, 50mm of hole. We need more hands. Right, so that's where the end of the hole is. So what we are going to do is we're going to cut it off about there. Okay, so we mimic the length of the previous design and cut it off there. So then we can fit the we can do the drilling and whatnot that's needed for the metal collar bit that goes in here. So I'm just going to make sure that those markings are right. That help I unlock the calipers. Okay, so we've ended up with 52mm. Yeah, so that's roughly. So if we cut it at the outside of this, so we cut it this side, we've then got a lot of room to play with for putting in the metal collar, threading said metal collar, and making it look good. And so it fits together the way I want it to fit together. And I'm just going to use copper for this one. I think copper would look quite nice. Very nice. Right. So I'm going to need to use a small there. Just so that we've got that all ready to go. Once we do everything else, we're going to make the cap next. Once we've made the cap, so pocket pen, that's the size of it without the extension on. Let's have a look to see how that compares to the other one. So the other one was slightly longer in the front because the nib would have come out to about there on this one. So this one's slightly longer with the nib on, but that's fine. But this is slightly longer on the back end, but that's fine because that's going to be cut down anyway, because there's going to be a chunk of metal in there. Just going to have a few threads going down to about halfway there, and then the other bit, the cap, is going to thread into the back end again with metal bits there to keep the weight resting on that part of your hand, and then the hollowness of the cap so that it doesn't back weight the pen, but you've still got the length there. So I'm quite happy with that so far. We're keeping the same threads that we used for all the other pens, which is a bit changed that I wanted. We've got a size 6 nib, which is what I wanted. It's just going to be the cap now and the metalwork. So the cap's going to be shorter as well, because I don't need all this material here. So there's going to be about that much shorter. Probably about that much shorter actually. But I'm going to put the Be Right Back sign on until my delivery arrives. Then I'll be back, but I will be on the chat. So I shall see you in a bit. Oh, fiddly foo. So I'm back. I'm now soaking wet. Got a drink. So I'm making a cap for this. Should be easy enough. So we'll just use this descend. And we'll just go boop, 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 done. Technical term, fancy. Take that bit off. Don't like using that small one. So I'm going to stop about 4ish today. Because I have gaming. I need to get the camera and everything down to the house. Are you all wet? Because I got chocolate. I like chocolate.
My shoes are soaked.
Yeah, I went from the house to here and got
My
soaked.
trousers. I look like I weed myself.
Real fair. Chocolate! Yeah, that's technically it's not chocolate.
No, it's not chocolate.
One of the children said I had chocolate.
Sorry?
One of the children said they had chocolate.
That was Eris. She told me. Yeah, that'll be Eris. Ooh, that's pretty. Is that the new fashion?
Yes.
Oh. I've got to go out again and do bloody food shopping.
Yeah, but at least you'll be in a car then. What's that look for?
We can't pack this up in the car, can I?
No, but you're going to be driving there. You've only got to walk to the shop. And then walk out.
And stand out in the road packing it all.
No, you've already got it in the bags. So you
No.
just put the bags in.
Well, I don't know.
Right, you take the bags in the trolley. And then pack it in the shop and pull the trolley over to the car. And then put the bags in the car. That's the sensible way of doing
No,
things.
I always forget bags in the car.
Well, I'm
When
reminding
have you ever known me to be sensible?
I'm reminding you now, the bag's in the car. Hello, Splatty Boo. You missed my Hello, Splatty Boo.
Oh, I got a video of Catherine leaving the car.
Pardon?
Video of her leaving the car.
I've already told them about it.
It's not a road, you know.
Right then, so that is that bit done. So now I need to find the threading tool, or the tap as this is commonly known, and tap that. So I'm pretty sure it's slang for something. Well, that's annoying. Why is that? Are people still in the chat? I have a question. Right, we now have the full length of the pen. So I've just cut the cap down. So we've got a hole going to about there. Then this will be gotten rid of. Most of this will be gotten rid of, and we'll have a metal bit on here. That is the length of the pen. That is maximum. There will be bits cut off. This is the old design. So the cap, so they're pretty much the same size. Just the cap's a bit smaller. The barrel's a bit longer, but we should be able to cut some of that material off because we're going to be putting metal on it. Just as you've come back, I'm about to leave. So I've cut down. So we've got the cap and the barrel now for the new design. These are going to have metal bits either end, so we can cut down on the length a bit because we won't need to thread in as much as this one. And that hole that goes down to about there won't need to go down to about there. It will only be about halfway. So we can cut off a lot from the bottom, cut off a bit from the top. That will then be shorter, still hold the same amount of ink as that one. Got a size 6 nib, whereas that one's got a size 5. The threads aren't as sharp, so we should be ready to go tomorrow, finishing it off with the metalwork. It's going to be in copper. So I'm going to leave them there and we'll start that again tomorrow. So thank you for taking the time to watch. Thank you for keeping me from going crazy talking to myself. And I shall see you hopefully tomorrow. I'm now going to go and eat chocolate. Take care. Bye bye.